If you're not able to be profitable trading SDR, it's for this specific reason. So if you've been trading and trying to trade SDR and it hasn't worked out, you're going to be most likely in one of these categories that I'm about to describe to you. So ignore the price action for today. Obviously, humongous news event. It's pretty insane the move that we did get, but this is actually a really good example. I mean, this price action is too quick though. But I mean, we could go on the 15-minute and give you a better example. So, I mean, I'm not gonna go over how to like trade SDR because you guys should be able to learn that through my Discord and also through my WAP where I have like my full like 30 video like course. But I am gonna be uploading content on SDR here and like how to trade it too. So just check out this playlist, and I don't know when you guys are watching this, but obviously as time goes on, it's gonna be more videos. But essentially, a lot of people only look at trading like demand zones and supply zones in a very like unilateral way. Like they will mark, for example, this demand zone I have right here, like they will mark this zone out and then they will think that it's as easy as just setting like this position and just forgetting it. Like you just set the order on your broker and then you just walk away, right? Now, obviously, these levels of demand and supply that we're trading are high probability areas for us. That's why we're trading it at the end of the day. It's an area where demand is a discounted area where we believe people are going to buy, right? And supply is a premium area where we believe it's most beneficial for people to sell at, right? But the thing is, just because you have a level of demand and a level of supply does not mean that the market is going to completely ignore the trend that it's in. So, what went wrong here in this trade? Now, I want you to take like 5 seconds to try to predict what it is, maybe pause the video. But I'll tell you, the problem that happened here and the reason you would have lost a trade is because of two reasons. One of them is because of what happened here. Okay. And then the second reason is what excuse me, what happened here. Okay. So what happened is price shifted way too fast, right? Normally how a market moves is obviously we have an uptrending market, right? Where it's creating, it starts from a low, creates a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? And it's the opposite for a downtrending market, right? You have a high, you create a low, a higher low, a lower low, higher low, lower low, right? Now, when you look at this market right here, right? Whenever you're trading supply and demand, if you're downtrending, you want to look for levels or supply zones to sell off of, right? And you want to ignore demand zones. You don't want to trade a demand zone, right? When you're in a downtrending market. Now, a downtrending market might look like this, right? Or it might look like this, where it's not, I wouldn't really call this a downtrending market because it hasn't really created trend yet. It's kind of just a falling knife, right? So the two situations where you don't want to trade demand is on a downtrend and on a falling knife, right? Because I mean, it's called a falling knife for a reason. Imagine literally trying to grab a knife that's falling. What do you think's gonna happen? You're most likely to get cut, right? You're gonna bleed. Same concept when it comes to this. It's really, it really ruins your probabilities of having a successful trade trying to trade something like this. You have to be able to adapt to what's going on and realize, like, if we're in this situation and you're seeing price dump this heavy, like, what are the chances that the market's just going to correct itself right here? It's not, right? And obviously this is a news event and all that, but regardless, here what you'd want to do is just be patient, right? Be patient with what's going on and wait to find an area where you could actually, capitalize and make something, right? I mean, today was a huge push down. I mean, we hit lows from what is this, like 15 days ago essentially, right? We just swept 15 days of price action. We swept every single low here, right? So that already off the rip should tell you something, right? Every demand zone that was here got swept, right? We literally, like, think about it. We swept every single demand zone in this entire like area, right? So definitely you don't want to be setting up for a buy anytime soon here. um Definitely sell is going to be the most beneficial thing here, but obviously we have to wait for price to create some type of some type of structure here, and then we could find an opportunity to maybe go but long on accident, go short, right, somewhere here. And obviously I'm just doodling a whole bunch of random stuff, but you get the idea. There's no price action to really mark out. But yeah, essentially the gist is, if you've been trading SDR, like if you've been trading my strategy and maybe it's not working out for you, and you're maybe kind of, I mean, it's really just you need to know when to use it, right? That's really going to be the issue. It's not a knowledge issue, it's an application issue. You got to know how to apply it at the right times. And that's what's going to be, your main issue. If you're not profitable with it yet, it's going to be to avoid things like this. And same thing would apply to something like here. This is another great example. It's kind of very similar to what we saw over here. I mean, on this one, I was able to make money. I did catch the supply zone, caught an easy, I think 8,000 on this trade on my personal account. On my live, not on a prop, because I didn't put this trade on a prop. But very similar to what happened here. I mean, obviously this moves around probably 3 times the size, or maybe 4. But essentially, it's kind of like we have our demand zone, and then we have a huge push in volume that disrespects it. Same thing here, where we had our supply zone and we had a huge push in volume that just went right past our supply zone. Well, actually 2 supply zones, because there was another one right up here. This is a miniature one, but regardless, it's on the 15-minute. And obviously these don't really matter, but just for conversation's sake. But yeah, it just blew right past our supply zone. Main reason why is, I mean, I don't know if a falling knife would be the right term for it. I mean, we could call it a throwing knife, little Call of Duty reference. But you get the gist. Like, it's kind of like, too much volume, too fast, and you're kind of counter trend trading in a sense, because you're trying to basically predict like the end of the move, right? When you're not really going to be able to. You don't know when price is going to stop pumping up, right? So trading in that sense, like trying to think like, okay, this is the peak, right? You never know when the peak is. So that's why you want to be trading with what's happening currently with price. Because imagine if you were trading on the supply zone right here, thinking that this was the peak and then we're going to go lower, you would have been in for quite a surprise, because you would have been waiting around half a month before you even got down to the supply zone again. So that's obviously not a feasible thing to do, because your risk to reward would look something like this. If we kept our same target, your stop loss would have had to have been over here for a risk to reward of 0.03, meaning $1,000 of risk would have netted you $300 of profit here, being a negative RR. And most likely, this is just on paper. You would have dealt with 14 to 15 days of swaps and fees. I mean, depending what you're trading on, futures broker or forex broker, whatever the case, you would have dealt with fees, most likely. So yeah, not realistic to do that. So always wait for a reaction off of these levels before you enter. And if you can't wait for it, at least, make sure that there's not a ton of volume going up towards that level, just skyrocketing. You get me? Because when you already see this much volume, you already know it's most likely going to break past. The market never moves. Like, the market doesn't naturally move in a upward fashion like this. It kind of staircases its way up, right? And maybe the staircase varies. Like, it could always just change around, but the market's never going to just like go straight up. You get me? When you have instances like this where it's just going straight up, there's too much volume clearly, and this is not a safe time to try to sell off of the supply zone. I could see a scalper maybe being on like the 5 minute at one of these like areas and just catching them move up. That could be a possibility for sure. But I'm not a scalper, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean, I trade supply and demand, and I'm not really a big fan of ICT, mainly because the creator doesn't have many results. But a lot of the concepts are essentially ripped off from things that do work. So I mean, I could see it somewhat, performing here in the scalping sense. It's just at the end of the day, this might be controversial, but a lot of more experienced traders that have been trading for a longer time would agree that the higher time frame is going to be better, and things like supply and demand are tested and true and have been around for a while. So I mean, that's why I really want to make sure you guys are trading this properly, because it is one of the best things you could do and one of the most for sure ways that you'll make consistent profits in the market. Just if you're implementing it wrong, you're not going to get that result that you're looking for, right? So make sure you're always looking for trend, guys, looking at volume, and waiting for a reaction off of the level that you are trying to trade, right? So I hope this video helped you guys out a little bit when it comes to supply and demand, and really, utilizing this component of my strategy a little bit more effectively. So yeah, this is the end of the video. If you guys liked it, I'm trying to grow the YouTube, obviously. So like, comment, give me suggestions of what you guys would like to see video wise. And other than that, if you guys want to get a free checklist for my strategy, I'll go ahead and send you guys a free PDF. There's just a link in the description right below. So you guys just press that link down below. You'll get access to it. Also, if you're not in the Discord already, the Discord link is also right there. So you can go ahead and just click that and join. But yeah, other than that, thank you for watching the video to the end, and you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.